Thanks for coming to another Addict review, the show where I review any damn thing I want. So today we're going to be reviewing Omensight. Omensight has been going around here lately. It just came out today or yesterday. It's a game that has a lot of unique gameplay mechanics from games that I've seen that I haven't seen in a long time. Games like Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. It's got Way the Samurai as well. That was another one of those games that you went back, you did stuff, and then you went forward. Okay, another game. It's very enjoyable. So let's go ahead and get right into this review. The story takes place in a world in the middle of a giant war. So you got, I can't really remember their names. I'm not going to even try to. It was some animal creatures and like pretty much like human and knights and stuff like that. They fought each other, and you're finding out exactly why they're fighting, finding out what's going on. But the point is to find out why a majestic, godless priestess died. Because she did die before the war started. Well, I don't think it was necessarily before the war started, but you're trying to figure out exactly what happened to her. You are the Houndbreak, or whatever the hell it's called. And pretty much your purpose is to only show up when the world's about to end. And what's going on here is the world does end. It ends at the end of every day cycle. I apologize. So at the end of every day cycle, the world ends and you are pushed back to this place where there's a glowing tree. I can't even really go into it. I think it's the Tree of Life or some shit like that. Some bogus shit like that. Obviously, some generic names. They could have come up with a lot of better name quality than that. But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So then we go into when it comes to the story, the whole point, the end game is to find out what happened to her. And there's a lot of stuff going on. You find out a lot of different stuff. It's got a lot of good twists. The story is solid, you guys. The story was amazing. Epic. 9 out of 10 easy just on the story. Let's go to the gameplay. Gameplay, I'm not really the biggest fan of this kind of gameplay. I feel like this gameplay kind of went downhill in the past decade. I feel like it's outdated, but it's more of like a Devil May Cry hack and slash game. It does have a lot of variety. It does have an RPG system to a point. You can upgrade certain things and not upgrade certain things. But that's not even the point about that. I don't feel like it's outdated enough. I think that they improved it enough to where it does the job. I feel like games like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, God of War, Demon Souls, I like those kind of combats these days, so I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to combat like this. But it does the job. There's nothing too negative about it. I do feel like the combat system could have been a little bit more increased. One of the weird things about this game is for some reason they don't have a block system. No kind of block feature whatsoever. So when you're getting bashed on and getting beat the hell up, you're just going to have to take that L. A good thing, though, is when you do dodge successfully, it kind of like slows time down a little bit. So you can really put in some damage when that time has been slowed down. Graphics is okay. It's very colorful. It's a very, very colorful game. I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was like the greatest, but I didn't mind it. It definitely did the job. Especially the world of it's really good platforming stuff as well. And I just thought that was really unique. One of the things I do want to let you guys know is the bosses in this game, for some reason, oh my god, like they are easy to memorize. They're easy to attack, but if they hit you, you might as well be getting hit by the spirit bomb straight to the ground, because they do some damage. There's a couple things about this game I didn't like. Alright, like I said, I was not feeling the combat entirely. It did do the job, but I do feel like if they make a sequel to this game, or anything related to this kind of franchise, they need to dumb that down a little bit, and broaden that combat in general. I don't like games that just put a lot of creatures on you, and the only thing you have to do is hit one, dodge one. I like games that, have a well thought of combat system when it comes to fighting multiple people. But that's just me. There's a lot of people that's going to love this combat system. Dreamcast guy, shout out to him. I know for a fact, I watched his video, he was in love with this thing, but that's just not me. Another thing I wasn't feeling is the camera angle. Oh my god, sometimes this camera angle makes it almost impossible to hit them. You get this ability where you can pick shit up and throw it at people. So I like picking that up. I feel like I could do a backflip and throw it at them if I could, but that's neither here or there. But sometimes when you pick it up, because you can't 360 rotate the camera. And I think that's weird. I think that was a horrible choice mechanic. I will say it doesn't happen often. It does happen a couple times there more when you get more of your abilities, but it doesn't happen a whole lot. Look, you guys, overall, this is an amazing game. I enjoyed every second of it. I literally played this game all in one day because I was so addicted to the story. I wanted to find out what's going on. Things didn't make sense to me. That's the kind of enjoyment I like in games. What would I give it? I'd give it probably an 8 to 9 out of 10. I don't really like the score system because I feel like that demeanors it or makes it better, not depending on where it was. I'd give the story a 9 out of 10, the gameplay a 7 or 8 out of 10, probably a 7 out of 10. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of that. And I'd give the overall game itself probably 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. It's great. It's definitely worth every penny that they get to it, and it's worth every penny that you put into it. I got about 15 hours in this game easy, and I played it on like the one below the hardest difficulty. So if you played on something like that, you probably got a good 20 hours. And, you know, the last boss, he had me frustrated a little bit because he was doing some dumb shit. So it definitely gives the replayability because every time you do stuff, you can go back. The whole point of this game, like I said, you have to influence older characters to bring them back to the new age. And sometimes what you say will influence them enough to where it changes what they were doing the original time that they died. So they do something completely different. This is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. I definitely appreciate everyone for coming by. This is Gaming Addict out here. Peace.